been a known concept amongst the anime community ever since the medium became a thing of its own, the Big Three. And in case you are not sure what constitutes the Big Three, they are Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. For many years, these three anime have been the big talk within the community as hundreds upon hundreds of episodes continue to pour out to keep the shows relevant. It is no surprise, of course, that these shows do consist of the biggest fan base in anime. But that was years ago when the shows dominated the medium. Nowadays, the situation is pretty much how RDC World 1 put it.
Bro, that old Big Three is done, bro. Ain't nobody checking for Bleach no more. Naruto finished, and One Piece, that whole shit that ended 6 years ago is played out.
It's dragged out.
Come on, bro. Be real, bro.
Yes, among the big three, the only one that is still ongoing is One Piece, keeping its relevance known to people. While technically Naruto also has its legacy carried on by Boruto, its reception has been surprisingly negative even amongst fans of Naruto. The voids left behind by the big three have to be filled somehow, and that is where we enter the era of a possible new big three. Even though I mentioned about a new big three, things are not as clear-cut as they were 10 years ago. With anime becoming more mainstream, the attention given to each individual anime has also been greatly affected. One of the most obvious trends that remains prevalent today is of the isekai genre. No matter how ridiculous a synopsis may seem, an anime with an isekai premise tends to grab more people's attention. But even with all of this new attention given to anime, the popularity gap between certain anime over others is blatantly obvious. And from here, we can think of certain anime that would fill in as possible candidates for a new big three. If we were to talk about the most obvious entry, it would have to be My Hero Academia. It is the anime that took the entire anime community by storm, so much so that even people who have not watched anime would probably have heard of it. It is no surprise though because of its identity as a shonen anime, following the footsteps of the original Big Three. And with advancements in technology, it was easy for Studio Bones to give the anime the refined polish it needed. A similar thing can be said for the second entry, which should go to the recently aired Demon Slayer. UFO Table has made a name for itself with the Fate series. However, it wasn't until Demon Slayer and the infamous episode 19 that brought the studio out of obscurity. Once again, bringing us an amazing television experience with a story that was easy to grab the attention of viewers. Now, for the last spot of the new Big Three, the decision would not be as simple. Several choices seem to make sense but would not really work out. For example, Attack on Titan. While still maintaining a steady quality in both its animation and story, appears to be ending very soon, and its category as a new big three would be very short-lived. One Punch Man has a different situation, whereby its quality between two seasons varied greatly due to the change of studios. Not to mention, it seems like a story that would not last very long either. As mentioned earlier, Boruto did not garner a lot of positive reception. And finally, don't even mention about Black Clover. While still maintaining a decent fan base for loyal viewers, the anime has lost most of the attention that it got when it first started out. And I'm not just shoving Black Clover aside without much consideration. Having watched 50 episodes, I think I have a right to make judgment with such a sample size. That aside, some possible candidates to fill in the third spot may include The Promised Neverland or Dr. Stone. While I haven't actually started out Dr. Stone, I have heard about its praise from those who have. To go even further and beyond, there is even the suggestion for a Big Four instead of Big Three, as indicated by a supposedly massive Twitter poll. And while the winners do include every one of the candidates I have suggested, the poll itself does spark a lot of controversy, myself included, and this is where we lead into the main point of this video. As a point made very clearly by RDC World 1, there are a lot of anime fans who only started out watching anime around the time the medium became popular. aka within the past 5 years or so. As such, a lot of these fans would most likely have missed out on watching older anime, including the original Big Three. While it is okay for anime watchers to stick to watching the current anime, there have been claims that people saying that the new popular shows are better than the old ones. This sort of statement really does not sit well in a logical sense, even for someone like me. I would consider myself a new anime watcher because I have only watched several episodes of Naruto because of my brother, only 1 or 2 episodes of Bleach on TV, and the big shocker, I have not watched a single episode of One Piece. Yes, you can leave your frustrations in the comments section if you please. Instead, as a new anime fan would, I have been keeping track of all the new popular anime of today. But even then, I feel that it wouldn't be fair to consider the new anime being better than the old ones, mainly because there's just not as much material to go by. To put it simply, it is not really fair to compare 70 plus episodes of My Hero Academia with 500 plus episodes of Naruto. In a sense, it is a little too early to make comparisons, and not only that, I am in the belief that if you haven't watched an anime of the original Big Three, you have no right to criticize them or even make comparisons. There is just so much detail that you would be missing out on to make a solid argument. But at the same time, I am not all on the side of old anime watchers. I also think that veteran anime watchers who have stuck around since the original Big Three should not outright disregard the new anime that are coming out. As I've said, they are only in their beginning phases, and there is just not as much material to make a fair comparison. After all, even though I never grew up with the original Big Three, I'm pretty sure they weren't all smooth flowing throughout the hundreds of episodes of their airing. My main message from all of this is that whether or not you are an old anime fan or new anime fan, the best thing to do is to respect people's preferences in anime, and more importantly, keep within your field of anime knowledge. For myself, I have no right to say whether or not My Hero Academia or Demon Slayer or The Promised Neverland are better than Naruto, Bleach, or One Piece. But I can at least say that I thoroughly enjoyed these new anime, whether they may be considered the new Big Three or not. So, to all of you anime fans out there, just go on and have fun. And remember, play nice, and let's keep this community one that we can be proud of. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.